How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. It's Mr. Bonhomme. In this video, I'm going to show you how to draw fraction bars. Started a unit on fractions, and I'm going to show you a good strategy to use when determining and being able to compare fractions. So the first thing I want you to do is draw a rectangle, right? We have one whole rectangle. So I'm going to write one whole, and since this is just one rectangle, one whole, one is going to be the denominator, which is the bottom number in the fraction. And since we're just talking about this entire thing, it's 1 over 1. Okay? Right under, you're going to make another rectangle. This is a good way for us to compare fractions by their size and also see which fractions are the same size. I'm going to split this in half as closely as possible into 2 equal parts. And this is a half, and this is half. So I'm writing it in words also so you can see. Some students I notice say 2 twos or twos. You split into twos. You split into halves. Okay? Now, I'm going to make another rectangle right under. Now with this, I'm going to bring down this line from the middle and bring it down. You can, as you notice, I have halves. And now I'm going to partition these halves in half again. Now how many parts do I have? I have 4 equal parts. So these are fourths. Each one of these are 1/4. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. All right. Now I'll just write the word over here because it's not that large. Fourths. Cool. There's a pattern that you might notice, and I'm going to keep on going. This right here is for specific fractions, but can be beneficial. Next, I'm going to make another rectangle, and I am going to bring this halves line down. I'm going to split those in half. Those are fourths, and now I'm going to split each fourth in half as well. And as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts. So each one of these is 1 out of 8 or 1/8. 1 out of 8 or 1/8. 1 out of 8 or 1/8. 1 out of 8, 1/8, 1 out of 8, 1/8. And these are 8s. All right? So this is just really quick of how to draw fraction bars. Now I can compare them. I can see that 1/2 is larger than 1/4. That 2/4 is actually the same size or equivalent to 1/2. That 5/8 is larger than 2/4. It's a really good visual. You should get into the practice of doing this all the time when we're comparing and trying to identify fractions. So this is how you draw some fraction bars. But this is for halves, fourths, and eighths. Now, what I'm going to show you is how to actually do it with some other numbers. I'm going to draw another fraction bar here, and I'm going to write 1 whole. Now, under it, I'm going to draw another rectangle. This time what I'm going to do, I am going to turn it into thirds. Now thirds, I'm going to look at where I have a half, and it's a little bit before a half, and then a little bit after a half. So that's about thirds. It's not perfect, but it's really close. We have 3 equal parts. 3 is my denominator. That tells me how many parts in 1 whole. And each of these is 1 out of 3, 1 out of 3, 1 out of 3. Cool. Gonna make another rectangle right under it. I'm gonna bring these lines down. I have my thirds, and I'm going to split those in half. Boom. So what do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 equal parts. My denominator is 6. One denominator is 6, so I'm writing that down first. That's how many parts in one whole. And each one is 1 out of 6. Now I can compare 6 to thirds. I can also compare them to eighths. 2 6 is larger than 2 8. 2 6 is not larger than 2 4s. 2 6 is not larger than 2 thirds. And 2 6 is definitely not larger than 2 halves. So with these fraction bars, I can compare the sizes, and it's a really good tool that we're going to be using for this fraction unit. I hope this helped out. Practice this at home. And try to take the steps that I took. All right? Submissive Unknown. Peace.